take a look. This cryptocurrency, it's absolutely spiking like crazy. A monumental move upwards. One of the biggest spikes we've ever seen in crypto history. Take a look at this. A beautiful chart as we see June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And all of a sudden, right now, we see this massive bang upwards where it just completely and totally spikes like crazy. You're probably wondering, what the heck is this crypto? Why did it just spike so massively? 25%, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, all of a sudden out of nowhere to 171. What is this crypto? Why have you never heard of it? How in the world was such a thing even able to happen? Well, I'm about to answer all those questions right now. This crypto is one that you've probably heard of many times before, actually. In fact, you may have even invested in it. You probably have invested in it. You probably own some of it right now, and you may not even know you own some of it. Your mom probably owns some of it. Your dad may own some of it. A lot of people own some of it. Take a look at this. The crypto that spiked is nickel. Yeah, that's right. This entire time, we've been looking at cryptocurrencies, trying to find a way to make a lot of money in this market, but it turns out all we had to do was go to the dang store and get a bunch of nickel. It was that easy. Come on. Well, why did we put our money into cryptocurrency? The nickel was spiking like crazy. We should have all put our money into it, gone all in, up to $43,000 right now. That's pretty insane. I mean, look at that. So now we know this is going to become the nickel channel. We're going from Dogecoin to nickel, our new favorite cryptocurrency. That's a joke, by the way. No, we still love Dogecoin. The reason why this happened is because a huge company who has a huge percent of the share of nickel in the world decided they were feeling bearish on nickel and decided to get rid of a lot of their holdings. Now they're trying to buy it all back at once. Weird timing on that, but it's caused this massive spike as more and more demand for nickel comes. And so that's really interesting, but that was mostly a little bit of sarcasm at the beginning for fun. Yes, we should have all invested in it, but how could we have possibly known that some big company was about to do something they don't normally do, and we shouldn't expect from them? But anyway, now to get to the actual news. This right here is what everyone's talking about over the last 24 hours. This, of course, is the big cryptocurrency bill that has just passed through, which obviously is a really big deal for multiple different reasons. And we're going to get to the first one right now, which is, as we zoom in here, the first one is a lot of people were starting to feel pessimistic about what the government would do with cryptocurrency. And it was getting really bad. But now it's gotten to the point where people are starting to turn a leaf on the crypto market in regards to what the government's going to do. The bill itself is called Ensuring Responsible Development of Digital Assets, which is kind of a weird name. I mean, I'm not sure who they hired to name this. Perhaps they deserve a massive decrease in pay because it doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not a very dang good name for a bill. And obviously, the person who named it needs to be fired immediately. And then I can, of course, hire them to do something along the lines of, I don't know, anything else besides naming stuff. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't have them doing that. ERDDA. It sounds like the name of a hospital or something. I don't know. The executive office just announced that bill, and it marks the first time that we have seen broad sweeping crypto from the government in terms of action with laws. Basically, what this does is it's directed at agencies across the federal government to produce reports on digital currencies and consider regulations. It has also outlined the risks of cryptocurrency to the economy. Now, here are the things where this bill absolutely goes out of its depth and goes into an area that it really shouldn't be in. Let me go ahead and do the chat. The chat should be working. For some reason, I cannot see them right now. I'm not sure why. Okay, if we do top live chat. There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, it should be good. But absolutely, that's of course true. But what we're seeing with this is also, so the bill basically outlined three things. The first one was the risks that cryptocurrency poses to the economy. They basically want the bodies of the government and the research capabilities of the government to look into all of the scary risks that it poses. The government scared of cryptocurrency for the economy. Well, the truth is, the only risk it poses to the economy is that if the government does a terrible job, then people are going to switch over to cryptocurrency instead. That's more of a risk to the government continuing to hold its positions of power than it is to the actual economy. The economy is going to be fine. In fact, this does nothing but help the economy. It's good for the people. It's bad for the government if they're doing a bad job. It's good for the government if they continue to do a good job and embrace it. There is a possible path forward where the government decides to embrace crypto, and then we can actually have the government being successful and also cryptocurrency being successful, but it doesn't seem necessarily super likely that's going to happen. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction though, because that would be better for everybody if it does in fact take place. Then we continue to look forward at what it says. They also put national security as one of the big highlighted issues when it comes to the crypto bill. Now, with national security, obviously, we have to be super worried about the Dogecoin dog going and taking over huge swaths of America, completely and totally breaking down all of our defenses and coming in. Obviously, no possible force on earth will be capable of stopping the Dogecoin dog. It's just simply not within the capabilities of any government body to do that. So yeah, I get it. Obviously, huge national security risks from a cryptocurrency. That's a little bit, I mean, come on. National security risk, like what is it going to do? The cryptocurrency is going to go rally a group of people to come take down the US government? I mean, come on. There's no national security. In fact, the only national security thing that has to do with cryptocurrency is that people have more security despite whatever nationality they are, because of crypto and because of the fact that they can go outside of what the government's doing and have their own control of their money. Then this one is the one that makes me the most frustrated, because what do we keep saying over and over and over again? People keep saying that what? Cryptocurrency is bad for the environment. It's so scary. How in the world can cryptocurrency exist and the environment be good? It can't happen. It's impossible. And yes, if you did just come in, take a second to press like before we go ahead and debunk this, as we continue to have to do. That right there is ridiculous on its face. We all know by now. Now, cryptocurrency is so much more efficient and better for the environment than any of the current systems per transaction. That's not even close to close. So that right there being included, a little bit silly. Nonetheless, they're going to look into it, and who knows what they'll find. Maybe they'll discover actually the truth. If they do real research here, then that's a good thing. That's what this comes down to. It depends, who do they hire to actually do this research? Which individuals are doing it? Are they smart people? Are they capable of finding facts? Or are they just government shrills, or whatever you want to call it, who are just going to do nothing but try to be negative? That really is what it comes down to. I think it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle, but hopefully it'll be leaning closer towards the first one than the second one. But then here's the good part. Also, noting their possible benefits. So the government is now starting to finally see that there are some benefits of cryptocurrency, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because the good part about that is, well, finally, they're starting to realize the truth. The bad part is, now they're going to want a slice of the action, potentially, and they're not entitled to that. They're the dang government. We're entitled to the slice of the government's action because we are the government, but the government more and more is starting to see themselves as their own body, at least officials in the government, to the point where they now want to be going against the people if it's in their own interest as individuals. And that's obviously a place where we're extremely far off from what we want to see. I tweeted out yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago, but not that long ago, that there's way more corruption in the government than most people even imagine. And that's absolutely true. All over the place. Unusual Whales is one person on Twitter who continues to expose that over and over and over again. So shout out, thank you to Unusual Whales for his work exposing it. He recently exposed that right now the government put in a lot of bets on energy in the US market right before what happened with blocking oil from you know who. They blocked the oil from Russia, and then before that, what did they do? All of them were making big bets in the stock market, and those bets are private. We're not allowed to see what they invest in until a month later, and a lot of them don't even report it, or they find a way around it, or they only report it partially, and they wait till the last day or the last second to report it. It's ridiculous on its face. All these trades need to be immediately seeable by human beings, and in fact, they should have to, before they make the trade, announce it 1 day in advance. At the very least, if they're even allowed to trade at all, which is questionable if they should even be allowed to do that. But if they want to trade, they at the very least need to make it public first, and then they can buy in, so that the people have access to information just as fast as everyone else. And then if the price of the stock goes up a lot before they buy in, well, then they don't have to buy anymore. It's that simple. Only buy stocks that are big enough to the point where you announcing it would not cause the market to increase. And if the market does increase from it, well, then if the stock's still good and you like it, well, then you should still buy it anyway. If not, well, then perhaps you're doing insider trading and you're doing something that's against the people, and you shouldn't have done it in the first place anyway. But of course, it's really hard to get the government to do that when the people that we have in power to make that decision are the government. And of course, they're not going to rule against themselves. I mean, why would they? So it's a big mess. And yeah, the crypto market did spike back up after this. It really isn't 180 from where a lot of people were thinking it was going to go. But let's go and take a look at the crazy moves of the market in the last 24 hours. Basically, we saw cryptocurrency going back up and then right back down. Like that. That's the sound effect it makes. It went right up in the right. Oh, look at that. We're starting to climb in viewers. As we press like, the viewers are going to the moon. So there you go. Thank you to everyone who just pressed the button there. It actually truly does help. So if you want to take a second to press it, we're at 124 likes right now, 422 of us watching, which means a lot of us are not pressing like. So maybe we should. It actually, no, I'm serious though. It actually does help. So if you can, that would actually help grow our community. If it ain't Dogecoin, we don't care, says Angel. Now, see, I happen to like that attitude. It's good to have someone you love that much. And of course, we love Dogecoin more than anything. I mean, to some degree, I agree with you, but at the same time, we do have to have other things we're looking at, like, of course, nickel, which is the next Bitcoin. Nickel to the moon. I may even have to start our own nickel YouTube channel. Now, if you just came into live, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But we actually opened up the live talking about the new cryptocurrency nickel that's just been going crazy. Actually, it's not a cryptocurrency. It's literally the metal called nickel. It's metal. Buying metal is now more profitable than investing in cryptocurrency. Come on, guys. What's going on here? You're telling me I should have made my last Patreon pick nickel? I should have told you to go to the store and buy a bunch of nickel? And then where are you going to sell it? I don't know. Maybe buy a stock that holds nickel directly or something? Are there even a lot of options like that? I'm sure there has to be something. There's some company out there, like an ETF of nickel. There has to be. Maybe we can research that. That should have been my Patreon pick. Not cryptocurrency. What are we thinking? Obviously, look at that. It spiked 171%. I mean, that's insane. And was that a matter of days? If only we had the insider trading knowledge that the government has, then of course we could have known to invest in nickel, and we would all be rolling in nickels right now. That would be great. We need them. We need our nickels. We need to see at least 50 cents for Doge. By the way, I don't own any. I mean, maybe my microphone maybe has some nickel in it. So I don't. Am I rich now? Because I own some electronic equipment. I also have a couple nickels in my wallet. So I may actually be a billionaire at this point because of the nickel spike, and I just don't know it. So maybe I need to go get my nickel evaluated, and then I can of course retire somewhere with lots of nickel, perhaps. Oh wait, I don't want to retire. I like making videos. Why would I do that? But as we continue to watch this, crypto trading terminal startup also has suspended all Russian accounts. Hyperlinu, they have around 2% of their users who are in Russia, and this is the first exchange that's actually made a big move to do this, and I don't think that's the right decision. We've continued to say on this channel, that is a bad idea. You do not suspend people's access to crypto no matter what country they're in, even if their government's doing something bad. That would be like saying, if the US government does something bad, then you have to suspend cryptocurrency for all people in the US. Well, we don't support that if our government does something bad. In fact, the government now has a mind of its own. And in Russia, that's even more so. They don't even have anywhere close to the level of control over the government that we have, and we don't have enough control even close to either. So it's like steps on steps. It's kind of like the environment with crypto. It's steps and steps and steps better, just like this is steps and steps and steps different. Doji on Mars, says Donnie. Nickel to the moon, says Tarina. Yes, obviously, I now have to renounce my ability to make calls by missing this nickel. Obviously, if you're part of the Patreon, you've made a terrible decision because I'm not capable of predicting nickel. Or actually, you may have made the smartest decision ever because the next thing that's coming on the Patreon is something that you should be really excited about. And I can't reveal any more details about it yet, which is why I'm saying it late in the live to where only those of us who are actually like strong in the community will hear about it. The people who just watched the beginning, they're not going to hear about this. It's only us that are still watching right now. Doge soon to go crazy, says Jason. Absolutely. I mean, you're really on point with that. And it's frustrating because the more we see the catalyst forming for Dogecoin and then yet there's still no spike, it makes us wonder, why are we watching videos on Dogecoin instead of just investing in nickel? And there's some points to that. We should all just stop watching my channel and go invest in nickel instead. That was clearly the smart move. Oh gosh. Oh no. What am what are we doing? Nickel's destroying us. I can't get nickel off my head. It's beating all of our picks badly right now. I mean, well, come on, guys. We need to turn the ship around. It's time with this next one to really truly do a use case moonshot with everything solid. We cannot have any holes in it. A couple of the ones we've done have been really good, but there were a couple weak points. And we cannot have any weak points in this next one. It has to be extremely strong all across the board, and I really believe it is. So that's what's exciting about it. But yes, I'm joking. You still come watch the channel. Don't worry. Dogecoin at this point is still a really, really strong investment. This nickel thing was just luck. I'm kidding. There's no way to predict it because all that caused this is a big company deciding on a moment's notice to start buying a ton of it at once, which caused a crazy spike. I'm not sure why they did that. It seems like manipulation. So no, there's no way to know this ahead of time. And obviously it's not easy to buy and hold and sell nickel. So I'm kidding. I'm just having fun. Yes, it's still obviously beneficial to come get updates on crypto because that's the best way for everyday people who don't have giant nickel mines to make money in markets. Doge about to blast off, says Louis. There really is no question. Dogecoin is a ticket to the moon. It absolutely is. But yes, it is frustrating, right, to watch it go down. But it's not as frustrating if you understand the facts. If you understand the facts and you believe in Doge long term, then you're not going to care as much if it falls some. You're not going to worry about that. You're not going to let it stress you out. And that's the beautiful thing about crypto is that no matter how much it looks like, oh, that's kind of boring right now or that's annoying, that's the exact moment when you need to be the most excited. And if it is at that moment and then it gets even worse, then you need to get even more excited and more excited. The worse it gets, the more excited you need to get. So that's the kind of beautiful thing about crypto is the way it has inverse excitement scales. I like that. I think that's a positive. And so hopefully we will see more and more people starting to realize that. But anyway, I'm Matt Wass. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.